All right, today we're working on writing equations given a point and the slope. First thing we're going to do is determine, our SPI is to determine if the equation of a line or graph is linear. Okay. What we already learned is we know that a graph, or we know how to graph lines given the slope and the y-intercept. So if we're given m and b, we know how to graph that. And you know how to write an equation of a line if you're given the slope and a point other than the y-intercept. Now you learn how to write an equation if you're simply given 2 points. What we will do, we will use 2 points to find the m, which is also the slope. So we are given m, or we're given 2 points to find m. We're going to use this formula here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now this is something that we learned earlier in the year, so this should not be anything new to you. All right, now we're going to choose one of the 2 points to use. Okay, we're going to pick the point that's going to make the math easier. So first thing that I do is I look for zeros. If I have a 0, that is one of the numbers I'm going to use because I know that 0 times anything is simply 0. The next thing I'm going to look for is negatives. If it has a negative in it, I'm not going to use it, simply because we don't want to create something that's going to be easy for us to mess up. And then the third thing I'm going to do is look for smaller numbers. All right, so now you have a point because it gave you 2 points to start with. And you have the slope. You use this formula to find the slope. All right, follow steps from yesterday's notes, okay? If you don't, you look at previous videos to get yesterday's lesson. All right, we're going to use, substitute the values of m, x, and y into the slope-intercept form for b. All right, write the slope-intercept form using the yx, or y, x, mx, and b. Now remember, the only thing we need to replace is this m and this b. Y and x should stay the same. It should simply be y equals a number, so I'm going to put 3 over 2 x plus 4. Again, this and this I simply made up on my own for this particular problem. Now it says write an equation of a line that passes through 1, 2, and 3, negative 2. Now knowing this, I need to find the slopes of m. So I'm going to use the equation m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, y2 is negative 2 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. So I'll wind up with 4, actually negative 4 over 2. Negative 2 minus 2 is 4. And they're both negative, so the sign stays negative, and 3 minus 1 is simply 2, which reduces to negative 2. So I know that my slope is negative 2. All right, choose a point. Again, I'm going to go back through my 3 rules. Do I have any zeros? No. Do I have any negatives? Yes, I have one here. So therefore, I'm going to eliminate using these 2. And I'm simply going to use these 2. My x is going to be 1, and my y is going to be 2. Substitute the mx and y into it and solve for b. So I know that y equals mx plus b. All right, my y is 2 equals my slope comes from here, negative 2 times 1 plus b. Now to solve that, quite simply, it's 2 equals negative 2 plus b. The negative 2 came from negative 2 times 1. We want to add 2 to each side. I wind up with 4 equals b. Right, so from there, I want to scroll down. Substitute the mx and solve for b. We did that. We said the b equaled 4. We said this equaled 4. Therefore, using everything that we've already came up with, we're going to solve it. So y stays the same, equals m, which we said was negative 2, x plus b. And our b, which comes from here, is 4. So y equals negative 2x plus 4. All right, now, that is our class, our notes for the day. However, we will do a few examples. All right, write the equation of a line that passes through each pair of points. Okay, so the directions are write an equation of a line that passes through each pair of points. So what I need, I'm going to have x, a y, an m, and a b. Now, it gives me 2 points, so I can find my m. Again, formula for m is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 10 minus 6 y1 over 7 x1, or x2, I'm sorry, minus negative 1. 2 negatives make this a positive. I'll wind up with negative 16 over 8, which reduces to negative 2. So my m is negative 2. Now neither one of these have a 0. Both of them have negatives. This is my smaller numbers, so this is one I'm going to use, negative 1 and 6. From there I can find my b. Simply by going y equals mx plus b. Y is 6, m is negative 2, x is negative 1 plus b. 6 equals 2 plus b. I subtract 2 from each side. 4 equals b. So the answer to this would be y equals negative 2 x plus 4. And that is the way you would solve 1, 2, or 3. All right, now number 5, we do the same way, except for it gives us the 2 points already on the graph. And then we would work it the same way. All right, that's all for today's lesson. We'll continue the next lesson with parallel and perpendicular lines.